how to discipline their
I
children.
am taking away your TV and video game privileges. Get to your room. I said, get to your room.
It should be easy
Get
to resolve,
to your room.
but not in this family.
Why are you always taking his side?
I'm not taking sides. I just think you're overreacting.
The tension was growing in their household, and it went over the top.
Because she was a woman pushed over the brink.
Hey, boys, please.
California, 1999.
Settle down, please.
Settle down.
Cora and Xavier Caro are active members of the Santa Rosa Valley community.
They were very close. They went on a lot of family vacations. They went to movies a lot. They did a lot of things together, especially going to church. They were a very religious family.
Well, we can certainly help out on Saturday, can't we, dear?
Sure we can, yeah.
Cora's a busy mom with 4 young boys under 12.
Boys.
I was going to ask if you wouldn't mind baking some of those amazing cookies of yours.
It'll be my pleasure. You let me know what else I can do, okay?
But she is always ready to lend a hand.
I'll see you on the weekend.
Anthony, thank you very much.
This was a woman we knew from classroom volunteering and from church activities. We always saw her giving high fives with her children and hugging them. She was, by all accounts, a loving mother.
Well, I'll see you in about a month.
The couple live and work together.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Baker. It's good to see you again. Oh, he's quite the taskmaster, my husband. He's got me shackled under the desk here.
I'll take the shackles off.
He is a doctor, and she's his office manager.
Bye-bye.
She deserted her nursing career and became his office manager. Her husband and sons became her whole life.
But behind the perfect facade, Cora's hiding secrets.
How can we owe so much money?
We've had a lot of expenses.
You
She's
call your
a
parents an
thief.
expense?
In just 1 year, she has siphoned off $100,000 from the medical clinic.
Babe, we need it. I'm not letting you anywhere.
He discovered that his practice was deeply in debt.
Credit cards, I've had enough.
After everything I've done for you for all these years.
He became incensed when it turned out that she was funneling money from the office accounts to her parents.
And Cora has another problem: alcohol.
She was drinking a lot. She became depressed. Her husband finally talked her into trying some antidepressants.
Cora's problems were far deeper than could be treated simply with a pill. Cora probably needed hospitalization.
Cora isn't the only one with secrets. Xavier is an adulterer.
He had an affair with a biofeedback technician who worked in his office.
Cora found out, and it crushed her.
And she has something else to fear.
She found a worksheet that he and his attorney had recently compiled, and it was a divorce attorney. And it was at that point that she realized this could happen, and this is real.
Cora's world had fallen apart. Not only was her husband leaving her, she had been replaced, in her mind, by another woman.
Thinking she is about to lose her marriage, Cora threatens to harm herself.
She was confiding to a friend on the phone that she would be better off dead, and that she was holding a gun at that moment.
Please sit down.
She believed her life was over. She was going to lose everything.
What is it?
A concerned friend goes to see Xavier.
She talked about killing herself.
She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't.
He thought that she was just being overly dramatic.
She's a drama queen, you know that.
But he was concerned, apparently, about this incident where she confided to her friend that she'd be better off dead.
Xavier tries to convince his wife to seek professional help.
Cora could not see up. She was so far down, she believed her life was over. She was going to lose everything. And she was in a black, crushing depression.
Cora has her own plans. A modern-day tragedy.
When people are in that frame of mind, they don't think correctly.
In the late 1990s, Santa Rosa Valley, California,
Cora, you cannot be serious.
Xavier and Cora Caro's marriage is falling apart.
Everything I've done for you for all these years.
She's been stealing from him. He has been having an affair. And now they're living on a razor's edge. It won't take much to push them over. November 22nd, 1999.
It was in the evening, and they had just had dinner.
What are you doing?
They were drinking margaritas, and one of their sons came downstairs.
Dad, don't you think you've had enough?
The boy mouthed off a little, and that's when a fight broke out over disciplining this boy.
I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
To the office.
However, the fight they ended up having was much more extreme than that.
Oh, no! Don't you leave me. Don't you leave me. No! No, you leave me.
He was going to his office to cool down and to do some work.
What is it?
Why would he answer? Cora, I'm not gonna talk with you when you're drunk.
In Cora's mind, Xavier has left her forever.
She had something like 1.5 times the legally permissible amount of alcohol in her system. She also had some drugs. She became very robotic and cold.
That's what I've always admired about you, Xavier. You always know the difference between right and wrong.
She was machine-like. That gave him a chill, and he ran home.
You done, boys? Smile for me.
Cora gets her children ready for bed.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord myself to keep me safely through the night and make me.
Every night, Cora would tuck her kids in and she'd put a little Bible underneath their pillows.
She had made the decision, and she was going through the motions until the time when she could carry out the plan.
Jesus, no!
Xavier arrives home too late to stop Cora's madness.
There was his wife with a gun by her side, bleeding from the head. She wanted to die, so she shot herself in the head, and he discovered her body.
But where are the children?
My partner and I were the first initial responders to the scene.
Deputy Tony Tutino will never forget the night he is called to the Caro's house.
We could hear him crying.
Oh, God! Jesus!
He just seemed like the whole world had kind of crashed down around him.
Police quickly put the puzzle together.
She went upstairs to where the family's bedrooms were.
8-year-old Michael and 5-year-old Christopher are sound asleep.
She shot each of them by holding the gun to their heads. It was an act of revenge because she was taking the things away from her husband that he cherished the most. She then went into the room where her oldest boy was alone. He had apparently gotten up as a result of the noise, and he was sitting somewhat upright in bed. She shot him once, then she shot him again. She then turned his body over so that his face would be up to greet her husband. The tragedy just hammers you.
I think it was horrendous in the fact that 3 small children, and you see them, and they've been basically cut down in the prime of their life. You know, life had been taken away from them.
Pulling the trigger on their little heads was actually just perfunctory to the goal of getting them and herself where she felt they needed to be. And that was gone.
She had some very deep pools of insecurity and anger and all kinds of turbulent passions in her life before the killings, but came out most obviously and most explosively when she held the gun to each of her children's heads.
The only child Cora spares is baby Gabrielle.
He was in his crib, and maybe she just couldn't bring herself to do that.
Incredibly, someone else survives. Despite a horrific head wound, Cora lives to face justice.
Some people kill their children and then they make a very half-hearted suicidal gesture. That isn't the case here. She shot herself in the head. Very few people survive that.
Cora initially enters a plea of insanity, but against her lawyer's advice, withdraws it. She is convicted of the brutal slaying of her 3 sons and is sentenced to death. She currently awaits execution in a California prison.
I don't think Cora was born to kill. She's on death row for this desperate, horrible act because she was a woman pushed over the brink.
Some mothers are maternal, and some mothers are monsters. Robin Lee Rowe burns her home and family for money.